All right, so it's Christmas time. I know that you've got Christmas parties, and if you play guitar, there's a very good chance everybody's going to be saying, hey, play us a Christmas song. But if you're like me, you haven't prepared for it. So what the heck do you do? Well, today I'm going to save your butt because I'm going to give you what I call the last minute Christmas set list. And this is 10 Christmas songs that you can play. You can learn them super fast. And you can plan for all the parties that you're going to be going to. So let's dive right in. Now, for these 10 songs, there's only 5 different chords that you need. Okay, now you can play just the standard basic open chord versions of these, but I'm going to show you the way I like to do them. And I'm also going to show you how to do these songs in different keys. It's going to be really cool. So hang out, make sure you watch the whole video. Now, on top of that, I do have a download of all these songs for you. If you go to simpleguitar.com/lastminutechristmas. You can download the PDF that has all 10 of these laid out for you. And you'll see me using them as screenshots here in the video today, but that way you can have them with you and it's going to be really easy for you. Now, also in that PDF, I made it so you don't have to turn any pages. So you can play the whole song and you don't have to turn pages. That makes life so much easier, right? Okay, so here are the chords that we are going to play. The only chords that you need are G, C, E minor, D, and A minor. Okay, those are the chords. Now, those are pretty standard basic open chords for most people. However, I'm going to show you the way that I like to play them. I like to play them this way. Instead of a standard G chord that is just this, 3rd fret on the 1st string, 2nd fret on the 5th string, and 3rd fret on the 6th string, we're going to put the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of your 2nd string and put your pinky down on the 3rd fret of your 1st string. Now, I call this G add 5 so that we can delineate between which G we're using. A standard G is just this, and I understand there's no such thing as an add 5 chord, but we're adding that extra 5th, that extra D note, which is the 5th of G, right? So that just so we know which version we're using, okay? So G add 5, and you can use that anytime in a song where you see a G chord, you can play the G add 5 instead. That's okay. Now the next one, instead of playing a regular C chord with your 1st finger on the 1st fret of your 2nd string, your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of your 4th string, and your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of your 5th string, with your 3rd and 1st strings open, okay, that's your standard C. What I like to do is a C add 9. Now, if you're already playing a G add 5 chord with your 3rd and 4th finger down here, leave those in place and just move your 2nd and 1st finger over a string. So your 2nd finger now is on the 3rd fret of your 5th string, and your 1st finger is on the 2nd fret of your 4th string, 3rd string's open, 3rd fret on your 1st and 2nd strings. That's your C add 9. Again, you can use that chord pretty much anytime that you see a C in a song. You can play C add 9 instead. Gives you a different sound because we go from a standard C to a C add 9, a little bit more spice, a little more flavor, right? Plus, that's the easiest change in the world from G to C, just 2 fingers. Now, the next one is a D chord, standard D chord, okay? So 1st finger on the 2nd fret of your 3rd string, 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of your 2nd string, and then your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of your 1st string, and you do your 4th string open, and that's your standard D chord. Now, why do I like this? Because when you're changing from G to D a lot, your 3rd finger does not move. And in these songs, you're gonna change from G to D a lot. So this is why I prefer to play this version of G most of the time. Okay, the next chord is an E minor 7. This is probably my all-time favorite chord. I love this chord. It sounds great, right? So same idea, 3rd and 4th fingers are on the 3rd fret of your 1st and 2nd string, just like in C add 9 and G add 5. But then your 1st finger goes on the 2nd fret of your 5th string, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of your 4th string, right next to each other with your other strings open. And that's your E minor 7 chord, which you can play anytime that you have an E minor chord. Now, the final chord that you're going to need to know for this is A minor. Now, you can play just a standard A minor chord. That's okay. Go right ahead. If you want to, that's totally cool. Right? But what we're going to do instead is we're going to play a little bit of a substitution where if you're playing your E minor 7, we got your 1st, 2nd finger on your 5th and 4th strings, and then your 3rd and 4th finger on the 1st and 2nd strings. we're just going to move these two, your first and second finger, over a string, just like we did with C and G, and you get this cool sounding thing. Now, technically, this is neither major or minor. I'm calling this A7 sus4 because we have the 7, the flat 7 right here on the first string. So if we were just playing a regular A chord, that would make it an A7 chord, a dominant 7. But we're taking the third note out of the chord and putting in the fourth. And so that makes it a sus4. So you can look at it as A7 add 9 or A7 sus4 or A sus4 7. I don't know. I don't know if it's a real thing, but that's what I'm going to call it. And you can use it in place of any A chord or A minor chord because it doesn't have that third. It's neither major or minor. It's kind of like a power chord, but it has lots of flavor. Now, incidentally, these are also the same 5 chords you need for Wonderwall. Once you've got those 5 chords down, what we're going to do is we're going to go through these songs. Most of these songs, you only need 3 chords for. Now, if you get the download of this, this is going to make your life easy because what I did is I put together rhythm sheets for each of these songs. But I did rhythm sheets the way that nobody on the internet does rhythm sheets. Most people on the internet don't do their rhythm sheets correctly. So what am I talking about? Well, first, let me pop this up. This is the first song. It's called I Saw 3 Ships, okay? Now, right here, you've got the title of the song, and right under it, you see 4/4. Now, that is the text way that we put a time signature on something. So this is saying that there are 4 beats in every single measure of the song. That's important to know because if you're playing strum patterns or finger picking patterns or arpeggio patterns, you've got to know how many beats you're going to cover, right? Now, on top of that, when you look at the music, and I was nice and I put in measures and everything in this, every time you see a chord name, that's a new measure for the most part. We have some split measures. We'll talk about that in a sec. But for example, the first chord there is G, and you're going to play that G for 4 whole beats. And then we change to D, that's a new measure. You're going to play that for 4 beats. That could be as simple as just strumming and going 1, 2, 3, 4, and D, 2, 3, back to G, 1, 2, 3, and D, 1, 2, right? It could be that simple. Or you could be playing a strum pattern. I find alternating bass patterns really work good for this. If you don't know what those are, I'll put a link to a video about how to play alternating bass patterns. They're actually kind of underrated, even if you're not playing country. Like, I don't play a ton of country, but they are really handy because they work on your pick accuracy. So these work great for Christmas songs. Now, what happens if you have 2 chords in a measure? Well, you'll see that I have the measure markers. I put bar lines in there just using vertical lines. And in this song, I Saw 3 Ships, at the end, we split the measure. We'll play G for 2 beats, and then E minor for 2 beats, and then D for 2 beats, and then G. And that is how that works. So if there's more than 1 chord in a measure, it's indicated in the music. But that should make it really easy for you as you're reading these songs. They're all organized with measures. The lyrics line up pretty well with where the measure is. I made sure to count out really carefully where the lyrics are, where it falls, where the chord happens. So that should be pretty accurate for you. So let's go ahead and buzz through all 10 of these songs for you and get playing with them. I'm just going to go really quick and we're going to have some fun, okay? So the first one, I Saw 3 Ships. This is based on Bare Naked Ladies' cover of this for their Bare Naked for the Holidays album, one of my favorite Christmas albums. It's great. So this song is just G and D and E minor. Now, like I said, you can play your regular G, D, and E minors, or you can play the fancy ones that I like. Either way, I'm going to play the fancy ones. And remember, we're in 4/4, so anything with 4 beats is going to make this work. And then you can have everybody sing along with you. So I Saw 3 Ships will go like this. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. That's it. Then I put the other verses there if you want to do the other verses. That is cool. But let's move on to the next song. This is Joy to the World. Now, Joy to the World is actually, technically, it's in 2/4 time. So you'll see that right under the title. We've got 2 beats per measure. So there's lots of measures, okay? So every time you see a G on this, that's 2 beats of G. And you'll see that we do have some split measures. The third measure has G and D. So we're playing G for a beat and D for a beat. Okay, that'll get a little bit crazy. But otherwise, the 3 chords for this are G, C, and D, and that's it. That's all you need. So G, C, D, that's it. And actually, it's mostly G and D, and you only play C 1 time. So that's going to sound like this. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Now that felt a little low, so what do you do if you want to sing this in a different key? You capo it, my friend. What you're going to do, let's just throw this on the 3rd fret here just for fun. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and sing, and heaven and nature sing. See, that's a lot better for my voice. That's where I would probably sing it. All right, let's go on to the next song. Song number 3 is Silent Night, still using G, C, and D. But this song, technically, it's in 6/4 time. But for some people, 6/4 time can be kind of confusing. So in here, I just did it as 3/4 time to make it simpler, okay? Now, a strum pattern, my favorite strum pattern for 3/4 time is down, down, up, or 1, 2, and 3, and that's what I would do. Or I would just strum 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, right? But Silent Night in 3/4 time with the rhythm sheet is going to go something like this. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. And then if you want to do the other verses, you can. It's still G, C, D, same order, same everything. All right, next song, number 4. This is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, still just using G, C, and D, which isn't normal. This is a simplified version because I understand you've procrastinated like I have many times. So we're going to make this really simple. So for Rudolph, we are in 4/4 time, and it's just going to go like this. We're not doing the beginning with, Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen. Not doing that. What we're doing is we're just diving right into the good part where every kid knows it, right? And so this is great, especially if you have kids. Like I've got 4 kids, and so songs like this are great for them. And it sounds like this. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeer loved him as he shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. That's it. Pretty straightforward, right? Now let's go on to the next song. All right, song number 5 is Angels We Have Heard on High, and we're still just using G, C, and D. These are going to be your favorite chords for Christmas time, okay? Here we go. So we're in 4/4 time, and it's G, C, and D. We do have some split measures where we play D and then G, and the hardest part for this was splitting up the chorus, which is the Gloria in Excelsis Deo part. That was the hardest part, but I worked hard to make sure on the rhythm sheet, it's right where it should be. Like, because you sing a half note for glow, and then you have 4 eighth notes, oh, and then another half note, 4 eighth notes, and you do that, right? So that all lines up, okay? So let's dive into Angels We Have Heard on High. G for 3 measures, then D and G, right? And it's gonna sound like this. Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Gloria in Excelsis Deo. Gloria in Excelsis Deo. So that is how Angels We Have Heard on High goes. Like I said, if you need to listen back to that, you can, but the rhythm sheet makes that a lot easier with the timing. I worked hard on that one, guys. I hope that you appreciate it. Song number 6 is the First Noel, and we're still doing G, C, and D for this one, okay? So this one is actually in 3/4 time. And do we have split measures? We do have split measures in this one. With this, what we're going to do is you've got measures where we have C and D together. And you're going to play C for 2 beats and D for 1 beat. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, and then to G. So that's a quick change. So if you need to work on that, that's a good spot to isolate and practice that part. But the First Noel is going to sound like this. That one is too high for me, so I'm going to capo this up. Let's capo it up here on 5. Actually, 7. Let's do 7. The first Noel, the angels did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. All right, let's keep this moving. Song number 7 is going to be Jingle Bells. Still G, C, and D. Now, again, if you're looking at like the fake book or something like that, which I've done a video about how to use the Christmas fake book and stuff, you're going to see all sorts of complicated chords. And that is because those books typically are written by piano players who don't play guitar and understand that we can play the same guitar chord and have it fit over all the different changes that sound really jazzy and cool. And they also consider the notes within the melody and how that affects the chord that is actually being played. With this, we're just doing the singing of the melody ourselves, and sometimes we fit that melody over different chords. So, but with this one, this is Jingle Bells, and it's really straightforward. Everybody knows it, and it's going to go like this. It's in still just G, C, and D, and it's in 4/4 time. So we got 4 beats every measure, and it's going to sound like this. Dashing through the snow in one horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. And if you know the other verses, you can do those too. But let's go ahead and move on to song number 8 as we go through this last-minute Christmas set list for you. Now, this one is actually going to use 4 chords. This is Deck the Halls for our 8th song, and it's going to be G, C, D, and we're going to throw in E minor. Okay, this is the first time out of these songs that we're doing that. So far, we've done G, D, and E minor for I Saw 3 Ships, and then everything else has been G, C, and D so far, right? Which makes life easier. But Deck the Halls, this one is actually really cool, and it's going to go like this. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. I used to always listen to the Muppets do that with John Denver. You guys know that album? If you do, give me some Muppet love down in the comments, okay? Okay, we've only got 2 songs left. Number 9 is Silver Bells, which I'd never really thought about this one much, but it works really well. It's in 3/4 times, so we have 3 beats in every measure, and we're still just using G, C, and D. And this song only has 2 verses, so it's a great one to do. Now, it's going to sound like this. City side. Where's my capo? City sidewalks. Hold on. Capo. Where's my capo? I've lost me marbles. There it is. Okay, so for Silver Bells, though, I like Reliant K's version of this, and it sits in my range a lot better. So to do that, I'm going to capo this on my 4th fret, and that is going to put me in the key of B. Why? Because when you play a G chord, the G note is your 3rd fret on that 6th string. But if we move that up, now my capo is 0, so my 3rd fret is now my 7th fret on the neck. That is a B note. So now, that is a B chord, okay? This is how you change keys, and you can do this anywhere, right? So we did one earlier in D, now we're doing this one in B, and we're still playing the same chord shapes, which is why capos are wonderful, okay? Now, this is how Silver Bells will sound with a capo. City sidewalks, busy sidewalks, dressed in holiday style. In the air there's a feeling of Christmas. Children laughing, people passing, meeting smile after smile. And on every street corner you'll hear silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. And then you can go on and do the 2nd verse as well. But that is Silver Bells in the key of B, playing G, C, and D chord shapes with my capo. All right, so song number 10 is Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I've played the song a ton. Whenever we play this at like a church party or something like that, and Santa is going to come, this is always the song to play right before Santa comes. And then the kids go nuts when Santa walks in. It's great. So great one for you to get down. This one does have G and C and D and E minor and A minor, but I'm going to play that cool A7 sus4, and it's going to sound good too, okay? So like I said, you can do stuff, but on the PDF of all these songs that I made for you at simpleguitar.com/lastminutechristmas, what we've got is on this last page with this song, I have the chord diagrams for these fancy versions of the chords, the G add 5, C add 9, your D chord, your E minor 7, and your A7 sus4. These are my favorite open chords, okay? So those are the chords I'm going to use for this one. So this is probably the hardest one just because of the number of chords that you have to play, because there's 5 chords and most of these only have 3. And what we're going to do, though, is we're going to have some fun, and we're going to sing about Santa Claus. Now, this is in 4/4. We do have split measures, so between G and E minor, G for 2 beats, E minor for 2 beats. and then also A minor and D. So A minor for 2 beats and D for 2 beats. But let's just dive right in and have some fun. I think I might have missed a bar line somewhere, but that's okay. Let's check it out. Ready? And you know what? Just for fun, let's capo this too. Let's put this on the 3rd fret. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list, checking it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. So guys, that is it. That is your last minute Christmas set list. Most of these songs only have 3 chords, which makes them super nice and easy for you to get down really quickly. But also, I hope that you really like the rhythm sheets that I put together for this to make it easy for you to understand how long you're supposed to play your dang chords and where they fit over the lyrics. I put a lot of time and care into doing that for you. So go to simpleguitar.com/lastminutechristmas. Download it. It's my Christmas gift to you to help you. So I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'll see you again soon in the next video. But if you want to see a really cool arrangement of Silent Night that goes from beginner to advanced, I want you to go check out this next video on how to play Silent Night, and you can add that into your bag of songs that you can play as well. So Merry Christmas. Thanks for watching the video, guys, and I will see you in the next video.